I personally think that porn and the availability of porn is a real detriment to the developing brain. Yes, indeed, many people are addicted to pornography, and yes, indeed, many people experience challenges in real-world romantic interactions.
Pornography ruined my life at one time.
90 days ago, I decided to quit porn and off.
And what happened when I decided to quit pornography for good?
So guys, I'm finally done. It's day 30 and it's over.
This was me more than half a year ago, full of passion and on track to master NoFap once and for all. I mean, what's harder than the first 30 days? The conclusion, this streak lasted around 70 days until I was back at the beginning again. Or was I? The principle of NoFap is simple. You retain yourself from porn and masturbation. The longer you abstain, the greater the benefits. Sounds simple, right? But isn't actually benefiting you the way it should be. Everyone's talking about the amazing benefits you get. Being more confident, having higher attraction, more motivation throughout the day. And the highest sign of success within this area is your streak. 30, 90 or even 365 days are where the true magic happens. The more days you have, the more of a chat you are. But this exact principle is the thing making you relapse every single time. And that is a problem. Because the main goal of NoFap is to get you off fapping, not to keep you in this endless cycle of starting and relapsing a few days after. But over the last few years, this basic principle turned into the shadow, while many new aspects came to light which made the whole thing even worse. If you already started your NoFap journey, you probably hold one of these 3 beliefs. I'm trying to get away from porn and fapping. That is the general goal we all follow, but the problem lies within the wording itself. Trying. How we word certain situations can influence the outcome of it, and if you say that you're trying to get away from fapping, you unintentionally tell yourself that you're still fap. You haven't stopped, you're just trying to get away from it. Imagine 2 people, both of them want to stop smoking and go out with their friends. Their friends, being smokers themselves, obviously offer them to smoke with them. The first person says,
You know what, I quit.
The other one says,
I'm trying to quit smoking.
You can guess what happens next. While the same people leave the first guy alone, they still try to convince the other one to just smoke one more cigarette with them. That is because the first person has a very strong standpoint and is already claiming himself to be free of smoking. But try to get off something and you still see yourself as indulging in the bad habit, which will never really get you off it in the first place. Every try leaves space for a loss, so be determined to change it. The more I abstain from fapping, the more of a chat I will become. While it's true that NoFap has many benefits, most of them don't come from the restraint, but from the identity shift within yourself. Fapping is just another bad habit that you have, and the more you indulge in it, the more you see it as one of your personality traits. As stated before, you still see yourself as someone that is fapping, that is watching pornography daily. And you know that it is a bad thing, else you wouldn't be watching this video. So by getting off this bad habit, you also start to dissolve it from one of your personality traits. And once you do, all of the shameful feelings connected with it will also fade away. That process just happens upon the point where you feel comfortable with yourself. For some that means only fapping once a month, for others that means not indulging in pornography at all. But after having achieved their true goal, most people don't feel any new benefits anymore, which links them directly to a shift of identity. One trick or streak and I'm freed from fapping forever. That obviously isn't how it works. There won't be this one magical trick or this 90-day streak to free yourself from fapping. As every bad habit in your life, the process of breaking it will take a longer period of time to implement, and that is fine. I myself have been addicted to pornography and fapping for over 7 years now. And when I was watching some of these NoFap videos, I was actually sad because I wasn't getting off it that easily. Even with some of the cheat codes that these people were promising me, I kept failing at the same point over and over again. The same went for streaks as well. When they were supposed to show me my progress at a time, they only told me how many days I was behind breaking it for good. When I was at day 15, I was happy for sure, but I also realized that it's still a long way to go, which made me uncertain if I'm ever going to achieve that goal. But when I then conquered the 30-day NoFap challenge for the first time, I realized the solution to this problem: being indifferent to it. You see, what I did was to forget everything about the concept of NoFap. No videos, no streak counting, just getting on to work and distancing myself as much as I could. The brilliant thing was that it worked and that it got me through 70 days without relapsing or watching porn at all. Remind you, that was the longest streak I had over the last 7 years. And then I obviously relapsed, but guess what? I didn't have any bad feelings towards it because I didn't care anymore. I just went on to the next streak and now was at a point where I only fapped around once a week, major difference to before. Then I was stuck at that phase for half a year, still proud of my progress but not really getting forward anymore. But one day it made click, and this was how I solved the problem of NoFap for good. Don't get me wrong, what I'm about to tell you isn't just a cheap trick or an easy tactic to get over it in a few days. That's what I was literally on the whole video. But if you can better this one area over time, then you will also beat NoFap along with it. Pornography and fapping are only one thing, a replacement of what you don't have. If you want to be in a loving relationship, if you want to spend a lot of your time with your friends and family, or if you don't just want to be lonely throughout the day. In today's day and age where social media has taken over our lives, it's understandable that most people don't care about true social relationships anymore. It's about attention and being online 24/7, but what we neglect with that is our social need to be around other people. Relying per social media will never be a substitute for having a true conversation from person to person, even if it just might be small talk. But what every human being needs is a connection to other people on a daily basis. If you neglect this, you will just fall back to your bad habits. Fast food, video games, pornography, all of these things just function as a substitute to fill all of your needs, even though they won't ever achieve them. As with every bad habit, the best way to break it is to embrace good ones in your life, as you can only do one at a time. When we look back at our realization, then we know that we have to become more outgoing, more social towards other people. We have to get out there and fill our need bar so that we don't even think of cheap replacements from the beginning on. I realized this when I looked at my longest streaks and the journal entries I made during these days. Every day I wrote that I had amazing conversations and that I was getting better talking to others, especially girls. And on the days where I relapsed, I always felt a bit off as I didn't spend as much time with other people as I wanted or needed to. It mostly happened during the weekends as I didn't have the social connections that school provided me with during the week. But when I got more outgoing and social, the streaks rose and rose. Even now I'm at a point where I only got through over a month just by using this knowledge to my advantage. And when you do that yourself, you can use the newly gained energy to embrace other good habits in your life. That way not only a social need will be filled, but every other one that you have. Then will you have the chance to break every bad habit in your life and to transform a new, as you won't have to use these cheap replacements for that anymore. As I said, it will take time and it won't just happen over a few days, but it is the solution to this long-rooted problem called NoFap. And I know how hard the first few days can be without the right motivation, which is why you should watch this video right after.